returns. Go! Krome type O positive. Serial number 06660666. This was more story oriented than most of the video games that I do. I've done others, and this played like a script, in a kind of a linear fashion. I didn't feel like I was going back and forth with, like, if you play it this way, then then there's 14 different options of what might happen. So you're exploring each scene 14 different ways. This was kind of very situational all the way through, and seemed to be progressive, and very intelligently written. Very intelligently written. I've done different versions of this character, and Guillermo kind of sets the bar with the writing of this the screen character, who's really witty and funny, truly funny, and so is our Hellboy in this game, which is very refreshing. It's kind of just hit me. Well, I mean, there's the obvious aspect of bringing an iconic character who has a major effect on a portion of the population to life, and knowing that you kind of have a responsibility toward trying to live up to people's expectations and honoring what it is that turns all these people on about this guy. So there's that, that's the challenge aspect of it. But then there's this. He's truly a mythic character, but with the trappings of a real underachieving kind of personality, and he's a lot of fun. He's very irreverent. He's very unmotivated. He's very adolescent. He's very low tech, and he's the kind of guy you think you'd be sitting next to at a testosterone-filled Super Bowl party. The ultimate popcorn-eating, pizza-eating, beer-guzzling slob who happens to have these mythic abilities. So he's a great character to play, and he's a really good character if you have to play someone over and over again. Well, I didn't have to spend 4 hours getting made up. But he's not a difficult character to kind of shift into, he's kind of naturalistic, and I don't do any major transformation to play him. But I was delighted that he was as funny as he is in the game, and as cynical, and as kind of like he's playful. He plays with his adversaries in a kind of a real schoolyard jock, gamesmanship oriented way. Psychs them out, toys with them, and the more perverse they are, the more perverse he gets. Fun. He's a fun guy to work. He's a fun guy to be around. Fun guy to work with, and I don't know anybody any smarter than him. So what one does is basically sit back and say, tell me what to do, and I'll be putty in your hands. So I let him. He runs the show, and I'm the vessel. Well, they're both nice people. They're both very, very perfect for their roles. We're the three freaks. We're the three kind of outcasts. So we're the core of the Hellboy world, and our bond is quite profound and quite deep. And I can't help but look at Doug and Selma and think that, oh yeah, those are my fellow freaks. You know, we've been treated to this kind of little ride that, you know, sometimes you go do a movie and you know, hang out with somebody for a month or two. This is going to be years and years and years of these three freaks kind of, you know, showing up. Not to mention, you know, 40 years from now, all of the Hellboy conventions that we'll go to. How did I hear about it? I heard about it from Guillermo. I called him about something completely different. He said, my friend, what are you doing? You freak, come to my house tonight. We have to celebrate. I said, celebrate what? He said, the studio is greenlighting the movie, you freak. And so we celebrated.
Well, when we finished the first movie, Konami approached us to create a sort of a separate game, not completely dependent on the movie, and we went at it. Back then the Next Generation was about to come, and I was really eager to try some stuff on the game, and I think that Hellboy is very appropriate for video games. You know, it's a good punching game. I like games that are simple. I love first-person shooting games, and I like games where you just go through it, having a good time punching and crushing and destroying things. It's a completely separate thing. I mean, what I feel is Mike creates the comics and he's happy with the comics, and then, you know, he gives his input on the movie and his input on the game, but they are not his. He really says these are separate worlds, and the same is true for me. I create the movie, but I don't intend the movie to be slavishly recreated in the video game. So we give them a few pointers on the lighting, a few pointers on the set design, ideas for the mapping of the levels and so forth, but not much. I think that a game is a game, and in this case, I haven't been as involved as I would have liked to, but I've been involved in the crucial stages. I think that a video game is completely different from the experience of a movie. It's a far more immersive, but a far more frantic experience, because you're in charge of the storytelling. You can get the action to be as fast and as furious as you want, or you can pull out and decide not to confront the monster and wander around in the corridors. So the pace of a movie is dictated by the director. The pace of a video game is dictated by the player along with the makers of the game, but it's a collaborative effort. But it can get really frantic, much frantic than in a movie. You can have a fight scene that lasts 20, 30 minutes with a boss, you know, so it's very different. You know, when they first approached me for the video game, I tried to help with obviously casting the voices, casting the music director for the game was Chris Drake, whom I admire a lot, and he worked on the animation with us, and he's a really good composer. I also tried to help giving them color guidelines and approving the designs and approving the set designs for the game. But when the time came to do the recording of the voice of Ron, I felt it would be good to participate on it. I mean, obviously we have a very little person crawling next to me. But how are you, darling? How you been?
Good.
You look good.
Thanks, I'm a winter snow angel.
Yeah, I like it. Ready for
Congratulations,
that
big
day?
guy. Yeah.
Yeah?
Take that!
Yeah. Hey, listen, I got to talk to you about it.
Okay, please do.
Yeah. I'll look for you after this debasing experience.
I'm going to see how Pro does it for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's see, Guillermo.
Yeah, so wait, where was I? Yeah, so we gave them a few guidelines, talked about the set design, but you know, we then played a few of the key moments in the game, talked about gameplay. You know, I think the main idiosyncrasies of the Hellboy game are the idiosyncrasies of the character. If his investigating method, the Hellboy, is not exactly Columbo. You know, he arrives to a place and he beats the crap out of everything and anything that he can, and that's the way he solves the mysteries, essentially. You know, he uses a few amulets and a little bit of magic, but he's a two-fisted, blue-collar kind of investigator. So that is in the game, and is in the movie, and is in the comic book. Well, the idea for today was that within the schedule of a video game recording, which is absolutely incredibly insane, we would go through the lines with Ron, and with Mike Mignola side by side, try to change some of the lines. In the video game, he has a lot more one-liners. He's a little bit more jokey than in the movies or the comic, but it's about giving the character a little bit of more sound personality, and not just let the personality be on the physicality of the character. So, you know, we were there to try and tweak the screenplay a little bit that was written by the game company, and try to tweak a little bit the performance by Ron. But all this under an incredibly fast schedule. Now, the storyline of the game comes completely from the type of locations that Mignola uses, and some of the pulp mythology that Mignola likes, you know, the Doc Savage type of pulp mythology, but it definitely is not that closely related with either the movie or the comic. It's really something that creates a new type of universe. You know, for example, the Hellboy character has been in the desert as a setting for his adventures, but not that very often. Mostly in the novels and the written short stories and the Hellboy world that is in, for example, the Lost Army by Chris Golden. But in the comics, not that much, and in the movie, not at all. So it tries to expand the Hellboy universe. I think that going into the second film, you want people to have experienced Hellboy in as many permutations as possible, the animated series, the toys, the video game, and so on and so forth. And what it does, it familiarizes you with the idiosyncrasies of Hellboy. It certainly branches out the character and the world into many forms, and it makes people be familiar and sort of underline the importance of the voice of Ron or Selma or Doc Jones, you know, to imprint the characters throughout the world, you know, throughout all the different worlds.
It's not that much different than having gone through this with Ron and Selma doing the animated Hellboy films. But my role is to sit in the booth. The great thing was I get to sit next to Del Toro, which is always a riot, and Guillermo directs the actor, and I every once in a while say, maybe we should tweak this line, maybe we should tweak that line. And what was explained to me actually when I did the animated Hellboy stuff, if Ron says Hellboy wouldn't say that, I'm one of the few guys who can say, yeah, he would. I'd always loved, since I was a little kid, the supernatural stuff. And when I went into the comics business as an artist, and after 10 or 12 years in the comics business, I'd done a lot of different stuff. I'd done superheroes, which I never was that crazy about doing. I always wanted to do something that involved monsters and supernatural. And so I guess it was after about 10 years in the business, I decided, let me make up a book where I get to draw all the kind of stuff I want to do. Nobody was going to make up that book for me. So I had to create Hellboy as an excuse to draw all the stuff I wanted to draw. And I knew the kind of stuff I wanted to do. I wanted to do ghosts, and I wanted to do Nazi mad scientists and all that kind of stuff. I would have just made up a regular guy, like a human occult detective, but I knew that I'd get bored drawing that guy. So I created Hellboy as a character that I thought would be fun to draw. So I took an old drawing I had done and said, gee, I like this kind of guy. And I'd made up the name Hellboy as a joke one day. And I said, I like the name, I like this kind of character, I'll make this my occult detective instead of using, you know, a regular human. That way, for a guy who just wanted to draw monsters, that way, my good guy's a monster, he's going to fight monsters. If this thing works, I got a job where all I do is draw monsters. So that was my goal. I didn't think it would work, but it worked out. I'd never really written before. I'd made up a couple stories, but I'd never written actual dialogue before. So I think as an inexperienced writer, what I fell back on was in this particular situation, what would I say? I'm not Batman, I'm not Wolverine, I'm not quippy like Spider-Man. I talk much more like I think a regular person. So that became Hellboy's voice. And I have a tendency, especially when I'm writing bad guys, to kind of veer off into this kind of pseudo Shakespeare poetic stuff, which I think is one side of my personality. And then the other side of my personality, the kind of working stiff, the son of my father, who's a real working stiff blue collar cabinet maker. That part of my personality would get embarrassed by the side of my personality that was writing the flowery speeches. And so that's where Hellboy's dialogue comes from. It's the, remind the audience that we don't take it that seriously kind of a thing. I have no idea. I mean, I know nothing about games. I've never played one. I know it's a big business. I always thought, even though I know nothing about them, I always thought Hellboy would actually work real well as a game. But just like going into the movie, I have no idea what the world will be like with a Hellboy game in it. The beauty of this stuff is you don't know what's going to happen. I hope it works. I hope people who play the game will say, "Hey, this is interesting. Oh, there was a comic. That'd be nice." All this stuff is nice if it kind of lets me keep doing my job, which is to make up the stories. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the look of the game. I think for the most part, the tone of Hellboy's dialogue and the plot. I mean, certainly the plot elements are very Hellboy, and no one writes Hellboy exactly like I write Hellboy. But the beauty of being involved in this process is to say Hellboy wouldn't say this. Hellboy wouldn't talk that much. Kind of tone his dialogue down and make it a little bit more, the dialogue that Guillermo and I both wrote for the comic and the movie. Hellboy's a guy. He's a regular guy. He's not the Hulk. I think one of the things Ron Perlman kind of established with Hellboy is if you can go through the door, you'll go through the door. You're not gonna your first thought isn't gonna be to smash through a wall. You kind of want to do the least work to achieve the thing. He's Hellboy's old in a way. I mean that's an interesting thing I think about the character is he's 50 some odd years old. He's a middle-aged guy. He's not Spider-Man. He's not going to spring. Well, maybe he is in the game. He's going to spring over things. But I have no idea. The beauty of the thing is people get to kind of make this character theirs. I've done my version. It's in the comics. Guillermo and I have done our version. It's in the film. But I think the beauty of this is people, maybe a younger player might play a younger Hellboy. I'm old, so I write the old Hellboy. When we first were working with Ron, I remember being at I guess one of the creature shops, and he wasn't getting made up. He was just doing a body cast. He was just sitting around talking. And Guillermo and I started laughing because he was already Hellboy. The beauty of Ron is he's so much that guy. He doesn't put on that blue-collar, working stiff persona. It really is him. So at the end of the day, you can always say to Ron, how would you say it? If anything, sometimes there's a case where you just go, you don't have to act. You are this guy. I have no experience directing actors, so I don't know what it's like to try to make, get a guy be something radically different than what he is. But we always knew from day one, Ron was Hellboy. And if we could get him, if we could get a studio to say yes to him, he'd be perfect. And now, it's impossible to think of anybody else playing that character. So, it's really easy doing Hellboy with Ron. And same with Selma. Selma, came in and created that character. Well, you interviewed Selma. You've seen you've seen how unique she is. No, she's just got this great spirit. She's got this great. I hate to use the word spunky. But somehow that's the word that comes to mind. She's just this little, ball of fire, with a very unique, dry wit and a dry turn of phrase. I don't really know what to say about it, but you put her, you tell her she's Liz Sherman, and it just comes out. It's great. Yeah, it's funny because Hellboy 2 has kind of drifted around for a while. I mean, it was, I think, within a year of finishing Hellboy 1, Guillermo and I sat down and wrote the story for Hellboy 2. And then it just kind of, it was going to happen, then it wasn't going to happen, and very much actually like the first film, where it took a long time to get it made. Hellboy 2 took a long time. And I would periodically hear from Guillermo, there's going to be this meeting or there's going to be that meeting. And then I actually do remember now where I got the phone call. I had heard that there was going to be this meeting, and it was going to be the kind of, make or break meeting. And I was I was taking out the garbage, and my cell phone rang, and it was the producer calling me to tell me that the meeting had gone really well. And 2 minutes later, it was Guillermo calling to say, they're doing it, Magnus, they're going to make the movie. That's as much of an imitation as I do of Del Toro. So yeah, it wasn't like the first movie. It was a big surprise. I mean, we had been talking a long time, and we'd been working on the story. But it was certainly. Let me go back a ways and say, at the San Diego convention last year, I guess we thought the San Diego Comic Book Convention, we thought the film was dead, and even a little bit after that. Yeah, I don't know. My time's all screwed up on this. But
Okay.
there was a period there where we thought the film really wasn't going to happen. And at that time, actually, I saw Pan's Labyrinth for the first time. And so to see Guillermo's fantasy film, and I knew the story we had come up with, and to see suddenly what he could do with it, seeing him deal with that subject matter in a film, and then realizing, oh my God, that's what Hellboy 2 would kind of, that's the kind of world we'd created for Hellboy 2, and oh my God, we're not going to get a chance to do that. I mean, it was really heartbreaking. So, when we got the go-ahead to do it, it was a pretty big relief.
We're here to bring the Hellboy video game to life, and it was a thrill to be a part of it. Hellboy and everyone involved in it means the world to me, so to get to have this little input into Liz's character for such a really beautiful game, it's a good day. I don't know, all these worlds of Hellboy are really different, but I think anyone that is a fan of Hellboy wants to go and explore every avenue of every artist that is doing their interpretation of it. And I didn't know anything about Hellboy before I did the movie, and then, of course, once I was so immersed in Guillermo's world on the live-action film, I fell in love with his passion and Mike Mignola's passion, and of course I read all the Hellboy comics, and the movie is so true to the comic, but still, so different, the way even I played Liz, and then getting to do, Sword of Storms and the animated one, it's a whole different look, but still has the kind of sarcasm and the kind of monotone that our characters have that's so different than a lot of other action heroes. And then just now I just saw a little bit of the video game, and it's gorgeous. There's not enough of Liz in it, but I got a couple grunts in. Got a couple, It was really beautiful. I'm excited. I don't play video games. I thought it was gorgeous. Yeah, it's a strange thing for me because I have such a peculiar way of acting, especially for Liz, because for the Hellboy 1, she was very kind of numb and didn't really have a lot of action. She was a girl that was afraid to take a step. It was really Hellboy's world, and she was kind of figuring it out. And so to do these things in the animated one and then in this video, to get to see Liz, as having a strength that's going to be able to, step into her skin and really get up there and defend herself and her team. I'm hoping to see a lot more of that in Hellboy 2, because that would be so much fun to really play a kind of an action hero. But I guess it's different because I talk with such a monotone as Liz, and so to just sit here and do some grunting or something, you're like, ooh, I don't know if that'll translate into a video game. It's like I'm on some type of drug or something. So I think you have to just get rid of the embarrassment and just go, and just, you know, it's fun. I don't know. Yeah, I do. I have a real appreciation for it now. I mean, I'm being introduced all the time by either Hellboy fans or, you know, just friends. My ex-husband was a huge comic book, huge graphic novel geek, and, you know, goes to Comic-Con all the time. And I have a huge appreciation for it, and I love the stories. I love the darkness of it. I love Neil Gaiman stories. I love all the Crow stuff, and yeah, and especially Hellboy. Well, I think when the first movie came out, I mean, it really did well, but I think it really was such the dark horse, you know, just like but it really was, you know, it wasn't very mainstream, and you know, with the DVD, did huge and is getting, you know, people watching it, and children see it, and they're enthralled by it and fascinated, and they're not tortured the way people would think with the name Hellboy. It's, you know, it's a really beloved character, and there's a lot of romance in it, and then with the animated, it brings a whole different crowd of people. And the video game, I mean, I assume, you know, there are a lot of children with wild imaginations and grown-ups. I mean, I think you know, it gets everyone. And I see, you know, friends of mine, they play video games with their kids, and this is enough out of the bounds of kind of like the violence of everyday life, because these are such characters. They obviously, you know, Hellboy has such a look to him. That, you know, it really feels like it's rooted in the graphic novel world, but from what I saw, it's so real. It looks like a movie. I mean, I think it would appeal to me, because normally I'm freaked out by video games. Sorry, but I really wanted to see what was going to happen, and I can, you know, just more fans, younger fans, older fans, just anything. I think to get people appreciating Hellboy is great. God willing, I'll probably need the dough, so I hope someone wants me for a convention. No, you know, I hope that this becomes a brand that everyone really recognizes and is not afraid of, and sees the good in Hellboy. I know that name scared some people. You know, friends of mine who I showed the movie to, they said, "Oh my God, I would never know. I thought it was like this terrifying horror movie, but this is hell for good. You know, this is a Hellboy." And so I think the more people are just exposed to the story of Hellboy, they'll see kind of the irony in the name, you know, and that it is just completely, you know, based in kind of like the fable of comic book worlds. Ron and Doug Jones are family to me. I feel so lucky to have gotten to play their sidekick. And, you know, Ron is, you know, in real life, a really sexy, he's a real leading man. His presence is, his voice is, and when he was on set in the Hellboy costume, I thought he was so sexy. I'd be like flirting and blushing. It was so funny. And then afterwards he'd take it off, and I'd be like, put it back on, Ron. Put the costume back on. It's so hot. But he was just, you know, he's the perfect blue-collar hero when he plays Hellboy, and he's sexy and real, and he's ageless, and he's strong. And then we kind of have the real opposite of Doug Jones, who's the real kind of feminine man that's really ethereal and brings out, I think, you know, is just so gorgeous to watch and so graceful. And, you know, balletic's such the opposite of, you know, the clunky machismo of Hellboy. And I'm kind of the little girl stuck between them, you know, and it's, I don't know, I just think there's a character that everyone can relate to. I don't think it's just for boys. I think there's real feminine qualities in my character and in Abe's character, and, you know, and everyone should have a crush on Hellboy, I think. But he's mine. Anybody that meets Guillermo, I think, falls in love with him. I always wish I had more time with Guillermo. I'm upset when he has to leave. I get withdrawals. He's the most passionate, brilliant man I, too, have ever met. And his imagination, just looking at one of his journals, is like looking at something Michelangelo would do. I mean, you just cannot believe that someone is this prolific with such intense, you know, such an intense detail to their own creativity, really bringing that out. And so to have him as a director on set was like walking into his imagination. These worlds he created were really there. It was, pre-production was huge, and he had these massive sets and everything. So to see him here today, I imagine it's just not even comparable. I mean, because it lives on its own, this video game, but it is, you know, based a lot in what, Guillermo helped create for Hellboy. But I think it's probably funny for him because probably one of the last things he ever considers is, our voices or anything. It's so much about the look and the feel, and so he's probably scratching his head like, don't I have another Academy Award to go win because this is I don't know. I can't imagine. But he's a perfectionist, and he doesn't want things to just be okay. He wants everything to. He's passionate, and he appreciates the fans, and I think he really wants them to enjoy this video game and have it be a real companion piece to the worlds that he's creating. Yeah, when we wrapped the first Hellboy and I saw how good it was, I thought, oh, for sure we'll be making the other one, right away, and that was just something I was really counting on, and I'm so excited to be back with everyone. It was taking a while to find its home, and so I kind of just forgot about it and was sad, but then I got a call from Guillermo late one night, and he's like, oh, I'm so excited, monkey brain, that's what he calls me, yeah, he just said we're going, and it'll be in Budapest and maybe a bit in London, and we're going to have a great time, and that was like the best phone call I've had all year. It was really made me happy, so, and the longer the better. I'm happy to be there. I just know Liz will have a little more humor in the next one. I mean, she finished the first one in a place of strength, having used her power, so I imagine that'll carry over. And I'll be happy to be tagging along Hellboy, but hopefully I'll give it back to him a little bit more. I guess the aspect of Hellboy that surprised me the most is what a beautiful love story it is, and how important a love story is to Guillermo. Watching his other movies, they're all really, Devil's Backbone and Pan's Labyrinth are so rooted in human perseverance and, what we would do for one we really love when we're in a really dark spot. And the evil on this earth too. And so I think that really surprised me, that how beautiful the film really looked, and I can only imagine Hellboy 2 is going to be that much more gorgeous now that people are so familiar with what Guillermo can create, that he can add that to Hellboy 2 as well, a kind of poetry. But yeah, I think I was really surprised by how moving the story is, the father-son love story, and how much the misfits of Liz and Abe and Hellboy really care for each other.